Don't perceive a leader based on just what they look like. And yet we do this all the time, don't we? In fact, some of us have a nagging suspicion that maybe some people in our lives have it easier because they're just so good looking. You ever believe that? You ever notice that about people? Well, your nagging suspicions are true. Let me read to you a study based on appearance. It has been well documented that people who are physically attractive, both men and women, enjoy a plethora of benefits and privileges in life. From getting higher marks in school for handing in the same quality work, to receiving more help when needed, from having an easier time job hunting to getting higher salaries, they have an advantage. Good-looking people are also less likely to be judged as guilty in a legal and courtroom setting, not to mention the obvious advantages they possess in the relationship and dating departments, not all of them. And even in childhood, kids who are cuter are often treated more favorably. So can we just wipe away the preconception that we'll judge the church that they're doing it and we don't? We do. In every realm of society, it is ingrained in humanity that we absolutely do perceive what is on the outside. But, we might say our society, of course, we see it. Everything about our society is about the perception we see, right? We all try and do ourselves up, even in the church setting. Sometimes we try and doll up. We put on our Sunday best. We come in. We might say it's for the glory of God, but it's actually for the glory of us. We sit in a place where sometimes we are always assessing each other based on how we see, how we look, what we do, the affections, the accomplishments, all of those pieces, and it's quite normal. But it's not just in our culture where everything's kind of put forward and put on Instagram and social media and things. It's actually been happening for a really long time. In the book of 1 Samuel, it follows this prophet Samuel and this idea of kingship throughout Israel. And there's a man named Saul who ends up doing something. The Lord sent him on a task. He's anointed to be king, sent him on a task, and he does what he wants to do in the midst of it. He kind of satisfies some of what the Lord wants, but then he notices some livestock good to keep, and he keeps it, and the Lord removes his anointing from him. In this moment, Samuel, the prophet, is now looking for other kings to be a successor to Saul, and so as he's looking, this guy Eliab comes, who is actually tall and of good stature, and immediately Samuel thinks, this guy must be anointed to be king based on what he looks like. He'd be a great successor to Saul. But the Lord meets with Samuel and says this. The Lord said to Samuel in 1 Samuel 16, verse 7, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. It is in the heart of humanity to see and look at what's on the outside, but it is the heart of God to see what's on the inside. God is concerned with not your visual and physical appearance. He is concerned with what is happening on the most inner workings of you. You can be the most beautiful person on the planet, but if you're ugly on the inside, without the grace of Christ, God will reject you like he did Eliab.